Good morning and welcome back to Early Riser Workshop. Today I'm going to follow up with the first pot and trim the foot. Well, actually it's not the first pot, that one fell apart. But I made another pot immediately following the video and it's been drying for about a day and a half, almost 2 days, and it's now in a state called leather hard. So I'm going to invert this pot that I made upside down on the wheel, and the wheel has little rings engraved that make it possible to put it pretty close to center. Next, I'm going to turn the wheel on and see how well I did and adjust it just a little bit as necessary. Right now it's pretty well close to being centered. So next I'm going to take some soft clay and place a couple of dabs around the rim of the pot to hold it in place. Roll it up against in at least 3 places. This will hold the pot to the wheel in the same spot without damaging the rim. It'll be easy enough to pull the little pieces of clay back off the pot after it's trimmed. So let's turn the wheel back on. And there are a couple of tools in the bag for potters that include metal hoops that are a little bit stronger than a wire. I'm going to use the end of this to trim. The part that I'm looking at here is really rough, so I'm going to be very ginger until I get it all the way into a symmetrical state. If I put too much pressure on the trimming, I could knock the pot off the wheel. So I'm going to reposition a little bit and really hold it steady, again using my knees and my forearms to lock my hands in position as I trim. In fact, I'll try to move here so that you can see it a little bit better what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to stop there. One thing to pay attention to is the thickness of the pot and how much clay you have to work with. Now I've got a pretty thick bottom on this one. It was just so I threw it. So this is a perfect opportunity to lighten the bottom. I'm going to be a little more aggressive now and take more clay off of the bottom. This will help the pot to dry evenly and prevent cracking. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to work silently and I'll time lapse the results so that you don't have to wait in real time. This is going to take a few minutes. So at this stage, I've taken most of the clay I want to take off of the sides of the foot. Now I'm going to concentrate on the inside and create a little shallow recess so that the pot, when sitting on the table or shelf, is only sitting on a rim. So let's do that next. So at this stage, I've finished the shape of the foot and I want to put a hole in the middle so that the pot will drain water when I have a plant in it. I'm also going to carve little feet recesses so that the water can drain into a shallow dish. Let's do that next. Another benefit for putting a hole in the bottom allows me to see just how thick I made the bottom. So this pot's pretty well trimmed. Let me put the little feet carvings in next. Well, there it is, a finished trimmed bottom. Let's take it back off the wheel and we'll take a closer look. I've decided to add a little design element to this little pot by carving the little scooped sections off the bottom. Give it a little bit more character before I let it dry completely for bisque firing. So to do that, I'm going to use the same tool that I was using earlier when I trimmed the foot. And I'm just going to score little dashes off the side as I go. And when I finish this, I'll show it to you. Actually, see if I can show you as I go. What prompted this was when I took it off the wheel and I put it on the bat, my fingers made marks on the side of the pot, dented it. So instead of trying to put it back on the wheel and smooth it back out, I pressed my fingers into the clay on purpose so that it would look like it wasn't a mistake and I did it on purpose. So now that I've trimmed the foot, I had trimmed most of those little indentations off, which was a good thing. But now I have little dimples and they look a little out of place. So this way, they're bigger dimples, and I think you can see that. I'll zoom in on the edit. And that's the foot, and it has a hole in the middle to be planted. I really am truly done with this pot now. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.